Flyover Politic Podcast, the show for normal Americans. From his undisclosed bunker, here's your host, Tony Reed.
Journalistes comme notre confrère de la chaîne i24 News en hébreu, Tzvi Yehezkeli. Sur cette photo, un maillot floqué du mot octobre.
And welcome back to Flyover Politic Podcast. It is the 12th of August, year of Lord 2026. That's people talking about this piece of shit that is in a Netherlands store wearing a October 7 soccer jersey. Because that's the kind of garbage that Europe and us have imported. Those are the people that are more important than you. Good show today. We're going to cover the Air Force One really quick. Carrington and Sophie up front. Some of the Sunday show shit. Then we're going to go into a TikTok, which we haven't done for a while. We got a little socialist use. And we got a lot of illegals. Illegals is kind of like my main thing now because it's like all you fucking see. So let's get into it. This is Hillary Clinton because she's never gotten over 2016. And she's the only presidential candidate who's ever lost that has never, ever, ever not been brought on TV.
I think there'll have to be some, you'll probably have to take down the arch, which she is determined to put up, which I think is just a terrible idea. I think we'll have to worry about the reflecting pool because it's not going to be fixed by the time he leaves, assuming he leaves. So there's going to be a long list. I'm making a list.
Are you making a list? Are you going to de-gold the horses?
De-gold the horses, take down.
Have you seen them up close?
How fucking petty are these people? They're super petty. This is another crazy soundbite from CNN.
The man swearing him in is now Judge Emil Beauvais. Now, I remember seeing him quite a few times when I was at Trump's trial with Stormy Daniels in Lower Manhattan. Beauvais and Blanche served together on a Trump personal criminal defense team, so they were there. Now, FBI Director Kash Patel, Stephen Miller were there, the White House Deputy Chief of Policy, they were there. So what do you see when you see this picture, again, noting that this is what they chose of an entire event to release to all of us?
Well, I think there was a summer night in 1934 when Hitler consolidated his power.
And moving on.
The larger question, though, Governor, is do you see the Democratic Party as a big tent that is open to all comers from what might be described as a mainstream or establishment Democrat, at the same time that increasingly it seems to be a move left on the progressive side, and how that ultimately shakes out?
I think the Democratic Party is a big tent party.
No, they're not. Neither for unfettered abortion. Massachusetts, as we'll see in our trans section today, just did full-term abortion, 36 weeks. You don't do that, you don't get money. And woke, they are the Green Red Alliance. They're banking on Muslims. But here are some voters. I'm going to pause this for a second because this fucking computer program sucks ass. Here's two people talking about El Sayed. And I'm telling you, they're too extreme.
Sayed wins, I will not vote Democrat. I'll switch over. And I'll vote for a candidate with character.
Here's another one.
If we want to protect our freedoms, stop the extremist Republican agenda led by Trump, and fight for affordability, we need the strongest possible Democrat to win this primary. The choices that candidates make in the closing moments of their campaign tells you a lot about who they are. Abdul Al-Sayed chose to close his campaign by bringing in an outsider, an extremist podcaster who said that America deserves September 11, and recently displayed a framed photo of the September 12th newspaper headline proudly behind him as a prop for his Twitch stream. He also held a pool party with coastal podcast personalities when he could have been out talking to real Michiganders.
Here is Saliza and Todd about the Michigan governor Democratic primary ballot test.
Just Tony Evers, I know it just feels like he botched this. Like, how can the establishment be so crappy? I mean, they have absolutely bungled this 6 ways.
Because they know. I'm not going to let Todd speak. I let him speak too much. They know they've gone off the rails with who they're electing because they built this. Keep telling kids they're not responsible for everything. The rich people got your shit. Fuck you. Gonna give you free. And they're gonna become socialists. And then all week the media has been playing this, and it's just a touch before we get to the illegals, of Haitians. And this is so performative. But this is our media. And he falls down. And the articles are all, he's a good person. He's overwhelmed with sadness because they put a fucking ankle monitor on him. Because they know what the left's going to do. They're going to hide him. So they got smart. Temporary protective status. You're no longer, it's temporary. So let's move into Air Force One. A lot of things have been happening with Air Force One, swapping planes. And I just want to remind everybody before I play the media, the President of the United States is not in charge of what the security does. What he flies on doesn't fly. That's all the security. But before we even get there, this happened and the media didn't even cover this shit. There was a bomb threat near one of his events, but we didn't even cover it.
We begin this noon with a bomb threat just hours before President Trump is set to arrive here in Northeast Ohio. Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us. I'm Nicole Versansky. CBS News did confirm there was a bomb threat called into the McDonald's right across from the Spire Academy where the president will be tonight. That's where we find our Catherine Huntley. She just got to the scene, and it seems like
News now just out about President Trump's visit here to Northeast Ohio. CBS News has confirmed a bomb threat near President Trump's visit at Spire Academy later this afternoon. CBS says a state trooper on the ground did confirm there is a law enforcement situation.
Donald Trump was reportedly smuggled off Air Force One in a catering truck last month, in a dramatic security ruse designed to protect him from a potential Iranian assassination attempt. The deception operation took place as the president was flying back from a NATO summit in Turkey on July 8th.
Here's a video.
Air Force One as a decoy due to an assassination threat from Iran, and we have just received images from the
pretty fucking cool, really, what they did
last month. He's now facing criticism for having the media fly on the presidential plane.
Yeah. Media, presidential plane. They're really upset that he used them as pawns. They could have been killed. He personally did it because he hates the fucking media. And he's not in charge of security, you dolts.
According to the Washington Post, last month, the president's team taking extraordinary measures to move him, with threats from Iran growing the day after the U.S. resumed strikes there. On July 8th, following a NATO summit in Turkey, President Trump was seen boarding Air Force One, an airport catering truck captured on video next to the plane. According to the Post, the elevated...
So this is a month ago. They ran it like it's new. And they lost their shit. Here is Bondingo, who used to be Secret Service.
Kaitlan Collins says that someone was deceived in this. It'll make sense in a second. Play the cut. You'll see what I mean. Check this out.
Now, the Post is reporting that the threat...
I'm going to play this in a second. So I'm going to go move forward, and I'm going to let him talk. Because he knows.
And says at the end that because the president's life was clearly in jeopardy in Turkey, that they had to make this grave decision. And believe me, I've never seen anything like that particular thing. So this must have been a really serious, what we call TTL, threat to life, that the efforts they went to deceive the press. It's not about you, Kaitlan.
It's about the president of the United States.
I'm not trying to make this personal, really, but this is the mentality of the modern journalist, reporter, CNN media hack, that they really believe that they put the president in a catering truck to deceive the press. It was meant to deceive the people who want to kill him. Kaitlan Collins says that someone was deceived in this.
Here is that
shuttle
track.
Everybody over to a different plane and put them all on. That wouldn't have mitigated the threat, right?
So let's get to it. I had to edit this down. Here we go.
Turkey, which already included a change of planes with the president, or so we thought, taking his old blue 747 for the first leg of the trip, instead of this new Qatari gift, red 747, which he boarded for the second leg from England back to the U.S. Now, we were told at the time it was to give troops in England a better look at the new plane, which had left Turkey earlier. That wasn't true, and everybody knew it wasn't true at the time. The switch was for security reasons. And now the Post is reporting
is a breach of the First Amendment, protecting the president. They say they want him dead. He's had so many assassination attempts. They want him dead.
Instead, according to the Post, even as members of the press were boarding from the rear door, the president, who we just showed you climbing the front steps, was leaving the plane, leaving on one of these. Quoting now from the Post, he was secretly shuttled minutes later to a smaller plane, an Air Force C-32A, via an airport catering truck
he is
used to load meals and other supplies pre-flight, according to U.S. official and corroborating material reviewed by the Post. The Post asked the White House for comment. The White House instead provided a statement about the new 747, saying, quote, "The new Air Force One is a state-of-the-art aircraft that has been fitted with high-level security protocols that ensure the safety of the president and his staff. As the president has said recently, there are many enemies of America who have their sights on him, and we use every tool at our disposal to address those threats." Joining me now, our chief White House correspondent and anchor of The Source, Caitlin.
With him are sworn to secrecy, but they know where they're going. But, you know, looking back on this, and in that moment, it was so odd when the president said that they were sending the new Air Force One ahead so troops could tour.
I mean, it was ridiculous.
Right.
Explanation.
And when they were so angry over the reporting, I mean, this prompted an entire leak investigation where they subpoenaed reporters who reported on the security threat. You know, one conversation I had with the White House was, it's pretty obvious something happened because the president didn't fly on this new plane that he's been touting for months. But what this speaks to is, one, you know, the seriousness of the threat that they got when it came to this Iranian threat against the president's life, and two, the levels that they were willing to go to put the president in a catering truck and to deceive the reporters who were on board, and even some White House staff, according to the Post, who thought the president was on board that plane. And, you know, when you're boarding Air Force One, I was just on the plane with the president last week, and he got off that day, and you watched him board deplane the old Air Force One and get on the new one. That is something pretty unusual, because when I was flying with the president a few months ago and there was an electrical issue with the Air Force One, we had to change planes, they did not let us record the president changing planes. So they made a point of showing him getting on the new plane here. But the other part of this is that on the old Air Force One, reporters are seated on the right side of the plane. During this trip, they were asked to lower their window shades on the plane, which is very unusual. That's never happened to me. The only time I can remember that happening is when reporters go to war zones with the president.
Right, so light doesn't
they have
go
all the shades lowered. But obviously this was the scenario where the catering truck's on the other side of the plane. Right. They didn't want reporters to see that because...
And we're butthurt. And we're going to report this because we don't like this president. But if it was a Democratic president, we would say everything's okie dokie because we need to protect the president. Here is Rachel Maddow and O'Donnell laughing and happy. I think they're happy because they thought, man, he almost died again. That would be great.
Now I'm very pleased to say
it's
time for the last word with Lawrence O'Donnell, which is more of a pleasure for me to say than usual because the New York Times has just posted a headline on the front page of the New York Times website, which reads, "Trump hid in a catering container to sneak out of Turkey." And honestly, that news has just broken. Trump hiding in a catering cart. And the thing I want most in the world upon hearing that news is to hear Lawrence O'Donnell explain it to me. And God bless you, Lawrence. Please tell me that you will.
It is issue number one in this hour of coverage.
So happy.
At 7:54 p.m.,
that is so evil.
Get underway at the Ankara airport to execute the subterfuge. You can see in this video, airport catering trucks getting into
a
position
whole
at the side
thing.
of the...
They laid it out because they want it to never work again because they want the president of the United States to fucking die. That's why. They want him to fucking die.
It is the most recognizable plane in the world, Air Force One. It's really a call sign, not a specific aircraft. It refers to whatever plane the president is on. I had the unforgettable experience of traveling aboard Air Force One on many occasions with each of the last three presidents, but never heard of a situation like this.
Have you ever heard of a situation where the president switches planes like this? I mean, I know usually there are two Air Force Ones. You know, one is not called Air Force One when the president travels.
This is just, it's a breach of protocol. Here's Pritzker.
I mean, you know, you hear Trump on the final leg home from this trip, saying to reporters, knowing that they had flown on the decoy plane that was under an imminent threat and that he had not, right? He says, quote, "If I go, you go," right? You know, what do you even, how haunting is that statement, given what we know now, as you look at all this whole thing that was pulled off with catering trucks?
Well, it's obviously not true. If I go, you go. That's not what happened. In fact, it was a bait and switch. He put people in harm's way.
There it is. So these are the things that are on TikTok.
What you're about to see is astounding.
Trump
as
left.
Donald Trump leaves White House staff and the press pool essentially for dead. Trump pretends to board Air Force One, going all the way in the plane.
Did Trump's
and then
decoy
catering truck-
risk lives?
You see the president going up the staircase, entering the plane, but there's a catering truck. You can see it through the underbelly of the aircraft. What's happened is that Donald Trump has walked up the staircase, got on the jet.
Jimmy Fallon.
Being reported that last month when President Trump left a summit in Turkey, he was facing security threats from Iran, so he boarded Air Force One, then snuck off the plane and hid in the back of an airport catering truck. Ugh.
Do you know how this would play if it was a Democrat? Another attempt on the president. How dare they? We need to nuke Iran. TMZ, who's now liberal news.
The story of Donald Trump getting on a catering truck from Air Force One and then going on to a smaller airplane to leave Turkey is astonishing enough. It's scary that there was this kind of a threat. But one of the elements of this incredible story has kind of been tempered for some reason. I spoke to a couple of people involved in this story, and I am not sure at all why it's been tempered. I'm told there were more than a dozen members of the White House pool, reporters, along with a
You can't have a ruse if you move the reporters. Here is CNN.
You're ignoring why the Secret Service had to make that change, why that he was put in that position, is because he did not take Air Force One, the original Air Force One that is completely...
That's not true. But that's not true. That is factually inaccurate.
So we're
the
saying
folks that we were talking about, just one point.
Okay.
The folks that we're talking about, the so-called decoys, were on the old Air Force One.
Right.
So
later, the Washington Post reports on it, which is how we learned about what really happened here.
Well, I agree with David that this is highly unusual, and you know, Caitlin, you cover the White House and the president. You know how the machinations of his travel normally work. But I think it was unusual because it sounds to me like the threat was unusual. I mean, it sounds like this was a very, very serious threat to the president's safety. And when you consider that he's already survived numerous assassination attempts or people at least thinking about assassinating him, and you consider the region that he was in, I'm glad they engaged in all this.
Bam, here's Great Britain covering
Shocking
it.
details have emerged after US President Donald Trump was reportedly smuggled away in a catering van to escape an Iranian assassination threat.
Well, let's get some details, shall we, from GB News chief US correspondent Ben Leo, who joins us now. Morning to you, Ben. Bombshell details emerging.
And they cover it like it should be covered. That the President of the United States was attacked again and under threat, and they did what they had to do to protect the president, which is the Secret Service's job. That's what they fucking do, you pieces of fucking shit. But no, we don't cover that. Why would we cover that? Why would we cover that? Are you fucking kidding me, man? CNN, here's just some of the comments. I don't know who that is. Let's just get to the ones that I got that are... Is this it? I'm trying to get the right... No. Yeah. This is the one. So the USS thought the threat against the president was strong enough to serendipitously movement from Air Force One and then proceed to let the plane full of White House staffers reporters take off like the USS. You can't believe that when we were at the first White House correspondent dinner, that when the shots rang out, the Secret Service covered the president. Instead of you, or me, Jake. I mean, are you serious? You're serious, right? You're fucking serious. Here's more. Flew to Afghanistan with different presidents on Air Force One. An insurgent missile struck Bagram runway before landing. Weather was so bad, so planned Marine One trip to Kabul scrubbed. We were with the president the whole time. Our safety wasn't treated any different from his. We were never decoys. John Paderhurst. What monstrous thing did Trump do by switching planes? Did I miss a meeting? Sam Stein. So the reporters were left on a plane that the White House knew was going to credibly target with threats serious enough that they removed the president. Also, what food was on the catering truck? It's stunning, Brian Seltzer, to think that all those on the regular plane were sort of decoy. And we're not told the president wasn't on board. And that was this deception was continued even after he was safely returned to Washington. That's hard for me to understand. It's literally impossible for you idiots to not make it about yourselves. I'll mansplain for you. The president is important. You motherfuckers aren't. Seth Abramson, please be here. No, I didn't get it. Here's New York Times image of President of the United States fleeing Turkey inside an airport catering cart as he leaves members of his own staff and entire White House traveling press pool to die in a warned of Iranian military attack. Impeach this motherfucker now. It's time to totally reframe Operation Orange Chicken as a historical, serious political scandal it is. This makes Benghazi look like a golf outing. I wasn't aware that plane was shot down and they died. How tragic. Yet nothing happened, Seth, almost like it was professionally handled. You think this is even the first president that's done that? No, maybe the first time journalists have spazzed about it because you hate the fucking president. These fucking people, that's the guy, we need to put a bullet in him. But in a fascist society that Trump runs, he still gets to have a voice. That's really weird because fascists don't let you do whatever. WNBA media defends Dijon Carrington after dangerous Sophie Cunningham hit reveals glaring bias. Carrington posted white privilege in the Indiana Fever after catching Cunningham above the neck on a transition layup. And this picture right here, let me see if I can get this to fucking kick. This fucking picture, bro, if this happened to a black girl and a white girl did it, you know what would fucking happen? And of course, this bitch, Carrington, yeah, she played the victim. Dijon Carrington, I never once claimed that the assessment of the foul was white privilege. That was your assumption. Try exercising your critical thinking skills. I know you study psych. Furthermore, I'm lasting thing that what ignorant or asinine when it comes to speaking on white privilege. So here it is, and I'm going to play that because brothers called her out, and they didn't like it. She did not like that the brothers could find it. Here it is.
Dejanay Carrington made a basketball play, and the refs made a basketball ruling. So can we stick to basketball for a moment? Basketball play. She was attempting to go for the ball. At least she said so. She missed, and she missed egregiously. She missed, and she flagrantly hit Sophie Cunningham in the head. Now, flagrant 2, by definition, if you hit somebody with so much force that it could lead to injury, and if it doesn't appear to be a play on the ball. Though Dejanay's intention was to play the ball, her impact was all on Sophie Cunningham's head. So as a result, the refs made the right call. Now, I would be remiss if I didn't mention, have we seen Sophie Cunningham aggressively foul an individual before and not get thrown out of the game? Sure. Have we seen Caitlin Clark aggressively foul an individual by hitting them in the head and not get out of the game? Absolutely. You cannot be ignorant to that truth. But if we are paying attention to what Dejanay Carrington did to Sophie Cunningham, it was not a race-based decision. And to call that a white privilege-based foul is to completely undermine the term of white privilege.
Bam. This is Clay Travis. Sports Illustrated changed their Sophie Cunningham karma headline after getting a blitting, citing karma as the reason behind Cunningham taking a hard foul while received constant backlash from stating that men do not belong in women's sports. That's what it's about. That's what it's about. And they don't like that she spoke up. Her own fucking coach won't even get her fucking back. Here are other takes.
I swear to
this.
God, dude, you think the way that WNBA players be talking these days, we're still stuck in the segregation era, because why the fuck does everything with this league that I see, like, I don't even know who won the WNBA championship these last 5, 6, 10 years.
Who are you rooting for? Who's black? Which team are you supporting? Which team is the blackest? Which team are you betting on? Which team is the blackest? Who are you betting on?
Fans want DiJonai Carrington suspended after a string of dirty plays. Carrington chased down Skylar Diggins and connected with her head, contesting the shot, resulting in a flagrant. She took to Twitter to defend herself after fans were calling her a dirty player. The next game, fans were enraged again after she pulled a player down from her hair.
Look at this shit. Here's another one. This girl's a fucking menace. Way to hell. Cunningham's reply. I like Cunningham. I think Cunningham is a badass. And I think that she has every right to say shit, because they do this all the time to the white girls. Whoa. Like, what the fuck is that? That's not a basketball move.
DiJonai Carrington close-lined Sophie Cunningham, then immediately after posted a very controversial message. Sophie Cunningham drives and is fouled by DiJonai Carrington, where Sophie immediately pops up to confront her.
That's just, I mean, that's fucking bad. Here are some posts. This one is, why do many WN players hate Caitlin Clark? She's white, she's straight, she's a better player, she has more endorsement, all the above. They're either hitting her or hitting the fucking other white girls because they don't like white girls playing.
Did you say white privilege? Yo, I'm about to play the video, but Cunningham and her fans are calling white privilege after she was ejected for a hard foul on Sophie.
He's coming down trying to prevent the layup, but that is just a hard hit. That's definitely going to be upgraded, I think, to a flagrant too, Ryan.
I think that is white privilege. You gave her a Batman special. What are we talking about? This is what I mean, right, bro? Y'all have turned the WNBA into the softest, most political, race-baiting league in the world.
Bam!
I think it's fair to say that the majority of the WNBA are black lesbian athletes, plus Brittany Griner. That being said, two of the most popular are two white, straight females.
Yeah.
They get like double the viewership.
So with 2 minutes left in the first quarter, DiJonai Carrington just slapped the dog shit out of Sophie Cunningham. Sophie pops up. She's obviously upset. DiJonai says, try me.
These are plays we've seen from DiJonai.
These are the plays. Look.
Yeah. If you know anything about basketball, what she do
Carrington
is
last
wrong.
night almost took off Sophie Cunningham's head, gets ejected from the game, rightfully so, runs to the locker room, gets on Threads, and types out white privilege, which is crazy, especially coming from a gal that's literally wearing a bleach blonde wig. Now, let's talk about black privilege for a second. Doing something completely wrong and unethical, and instead of taking responsibility, pulls out the race card and acts like a victim. Yeah, that's what we just witnessed here. The sheer lack of accountability on DiJonai's end, that was so intentional. Look at DiJonai staring at Sophie's head the whole time, and look at her reaction after. That's anger. A normal reaction would be to ask if Sophie was okay or immediately apologize. But instead, she shoves her. The audacity to go and cry wolf and pull out the fake victim card and scream white privilege.
But remember,
all the while making
they didn't let
Sophie
Caitlin Clark on the Olympic team because these are the black ladies that chose because she's white. And all I got to say is, I'm a happily married man, but that's Caitlin Clark. That's Sophie Cunningham. I might start watching basketball. To TikTok. All right, going to do a TikTok, but I got good news. Hong lost. Yeah, I got some stuff on that. It wasn't really sold out before I went to air this morning. At least I couldn't find anything. But now I know she'd gone. Hate Thanksgiving. All right, this is Lindsay.com. Funny stuff. Here we go.
Pass me a cup, I'll take a shot to the head like yada, yada,
Should I pull the plug?
He wanna take me home, put me in a bed and fill my body. But you gotta come better, cause I got more.
Let me guess, he has a cold. He is low-key ruining the vibe. Not him trying to make this moment about him. Why
Yeah,
do you
no
like
shit.
this, bro? Leave him or leave us.
This one's the reason why I grabbed it. What is that?
Chick-fil-A employees on their day off. Breaking Amish.
Breaking Amish.
Homeschooling homecoming day. Not even on my way.
It's good.
6, 7, 8. Vipers! Vipers! Dear future husband, Vipers. Here's a few things you need to know if you wanna be prima donna girl. To do anything for me. Yeah! We're gonna win. Diamond ring for me. Vipers! Some more. I really don't know why it's such a big deal. Uptown funk you upset. Uptown funk you up. Uptown funk you upset. Uptown funk you. Yeah!
There are way too many good comments on this, so I'm gonna need to do 2 videos.
This is bad. The first one.
There's simply no room for me to park my Hellcat.
And when I run, it just looks funny. It just looks funny. I don't know. And this is my last video explaining. How can I explain something that I...
10 cents for the yoinky spoinky. Are you new to having a body?
This is Billie Eilish, and her songs played backwards are evil.
Did you know that if you listen to Billie Eilish songs in reverse, there's evil hidden messages? For example, this song normally sounds like this. I reversed the audio and you won't believe how it sounds now.
Listen. Rickroll. That's how I got it. But then I found out it's real.
Don't you know too much already?
Here we go. So we go over here. Reversed. They say it hails Satan. That's a little scary. It's there. This is a account. I can't remember the name of it. They just do facts. They're hilarious.
Why do you never see a black person with Down syndrome?
God doesn't punish anyone twice.
Oh my God.
Your husband is the only person in your life who loved you purely by choice. Your parents love you because you're theirs. Your siblings because you share blood. Your children because you brought them here. But him, he didn't have to. He wasn't assigned to you.
What's your name, beautiful?
Sophie.
Sophie, would you ever date a black guy?
No.
Why not?
Because my dad wouldn't like it.
Why wouldn't he like it?
Dad, do you want to tell him?
Oh my God, I'm next.
What do you call a black woman who has 6 abortions?
A crime fighter.
What's a message you'll never forget?
A man wrote me that he still makes 2 coffees every morning, a year later. He's not broken. He just loves somebody that much.
Why do black people not pay rent?
Jail's free.
Why do black people not pay rent?
Oh, sorry, it's twice. It's hard to do when I do this.
What do you think happens when we die, Keanu Reeves?
I know that the ones who love us will miss us.
That's right.
Tampon Timmy, the hero in Sensible Shoes. This chubby gray-haired legend comes ready for action with his very own box of mini tampons.
Tampon Timmy,
to the boys' restroom. Whether he
Introducing the Sissy Liberal. Racist, bigot. Press her heart button and hear over 20 bold catchphrases. Check your privilege. Make her cry real tears with just a touch. You're hurting my feelings. Sissy Liberal talks, cries, and...
Meet the Democrat husband action figure, fully equipped for those awkward weekends when the wife's Republican lover rolls into town. Comes with a full tissue box, a cry-friendly chair, and an expression that's 100%.
The all-new Democrat action figure by Wacko is now available everywhere with its interchangeable body parts. It can be transitioned to any gender, making it perfect for men to play in women's sports or just linger in women's locker rooms. And with the Furries expansion pack, it can take on any persona or expand the possibilities with the Protester pack, complete with ICE vehicle to block. Order today and get your choice of the abortion pack to perform abortions all the way up to and through the 9th month. Or Commie Pack, completely free and big tent full of your favorites like She, Mamdani, and AOC.
Meet liberal Linda, the activist who's always online and never out of opinions. Complete with her own bottle of Trump derangement syndrome. Just pop the top when the tweets start flying.
And one more. This is a Democrat starter pack.
She's an icon, she's a legend, and she is the moment. Now come on now.
And she has 6,000 blue and green hair. This is Lily Saves America. I'm just going to play them out. There's a huge push for this. She doesn't have an OnlyFans.
This girl said exactly what I said a couple months ago, and everyone had a mental breakdown because I talked about the fat Pilates teacher. She says it, just normal looking, kind of like Hispanic girl. Zero backlash and outrage. She was like, your body... As I'm sure you've all seen the thousands of military-age men that just breached Spain's Ceuta border by climbing fences and swinging around the barriers. The local government is begging for a national emergency because the place is being completely overrun. Kalshi has Feijóo at 85% to be the next Spanish prime minister, and Abascal at just 4%. Europe is being invaded in real time.
She's got a trend
of black people punching random white people because they were like, oh, we thought you were on the jury team. This is just a reason for black people to be violent towards white people.
Yes,
that's all it is.
That's
nothing more.
Genuinely all it is. There's no reason for any of this. They have no basis
To
for
our
picking
algorithm.
I'm a tiger
Uncle
expert. I got one
Dijon.
here with me, so I'm going to show you what to do if one charges you. Can I pet you? Oh, see how the tiger's getting angry? Remember, guys, it's just a cat, so you can just go like this. Look, no, back, you know what? No, you do that again, I will get you fixed. Unbelievable.
This one I thought was so cute. Grandma, you need a bar in your shower for safety.
My doctor said to put a bar in my shower to make it safety for me. Can I show you? I'm going to open it right now. Here we go.
That's what I'm talking about,
There's
Grandma.
my bar for safety.
A wet bar. Puppy with hiccups. This one is the subtle messaging. I can't read it because the font's like 0.
Just because the patient is obese doesn't necessarily mean that the patient is unhealthy. We don't use the term homeless anymore. We now use the term unhoused.
Hobos. Okay, I get it. Animal control in America. I saw this and spit my drink out. It's hilarious and a little bit racist.
Hey, what you doing here, buddy? Your owner's probably looking for you. Whoa. Hands. Let me see your hands. Stop resisting.
I hate Phil Dunphy from Modern Family, and the comments are filled with people telling me it's just a show. It's not that deep. To which I have to say, it is just a show, and it is very much that deep. So today, I want to talk about the trope that I like to call the insidious buffoon. 3 prime examples of the insidious buffoon are Tom Scavo from Desperate Housewives, Donald Hollinger from Batgirl, and Phil Dunphy from Modern Family. Now,
A little guy meeting Keanu Reeves.
What's your name?
Noah. My name is Noah.
Hi, Noah. I'm Keanu.
You're probably my favorite actor in the whole world.
Oh my gosh,
You're the
Noah,
best.
thank you. Did you see Duke Kaboom in Toy Story 4?
Yeah, he's my favorite character.
Canada's greatest stuntman. Well, I'm glad you liked it.
What a good dude, man. Here's a cardboard shanty in L.A., and this is real. It's probably worth $1 million. Look at that fucking shit. And you guys want him to be president. Doing my favorite person trend on my 4-year-old.
I'm going to do a video to talk about who my favorite person in the whole world is. And her name is Charlie. She has the biggest smile in the whole world. She has the most...
What a
We've recently
cutie.
been helping our elderly neighbors access the internet and browse in a class we call Net and Yahoo.
It's very simple. Just access
Get
the
it?
web and go straight to Yahoo. We kind of puppet them through the process.
That's right. We tell them exactly what we want them to do,
and they listen.
They do it.
The one grandma down the street, Jen, she was not understanding how to do this.
I meant to tell you, neighbor, I had to pull Jen aside.
Well, no one knew about it, Doug. It was like a secret genocide meeting.
That was the whole point of the genocide meeting.
Several of the old people, they're...
Pretty funny bit. Here's that guy that does the weird shit at the stoplights, and he did this on the beach where he looks at random people and locks his door. The thing is, it's just a door from a car on the beach. Fucking stupid. This lady's for real.
Fictional gay lovers inspired this woman to leave her husband. And after sharing that, she didn't really get the overwhelming support she was hoping for.
Heated Rivalry convinced me that my marriage was over, so let's yap about it.
Heated Rivalry is a hit gay sports romance adapted from the book series by Rachel Reed, who looks exactly how you'd expect. It follows two professional hockey players for rival teams whose intense rivalry conceals a secret, years-long romance.
I wasn't sure how much I wanted to share about this on here, but in a moment of big sad, I overshared on Threads yesterday and discovered that I am not alone in going through a divorce right now. So if I can share a bit more about my story and what's going on, maybe it'll help. And this will not turn into a channel where I bash my soon-to-be husband or post videos of me crying in the car.
Yeah, don't worry, she'll preserve her husband's dignity.
Yeah,
by
what the fuck,
explaining
man?
to
A gay
strangers-
show? What the hell? When I become a man, I want to be a Democrat. Well, honey, you'll have to pick one. The dog. Look at this fucking shit. This
I have
horse.
never ridden a horse. I have never sat on the back of a horse. I don't know nobody that owns a horse. I can afford horse shoes right now. But I want Fabio of horses. I want my horse
Look at
to
that
have
guy,
hair like
man.
this. The way this horse came around this coat, I want horse hair right
Serious, man. This is real. This is some bra company got with Nike to make a one-piece. It's basically Jamie Lee Curtis in that thing, Jazzercise
Nike
movie.
just uploaded their next Skims collaboration, and people have questions. I'm not sure anyone would feel comfortable running in this, or even lifting. Could you imagine doing a deadlift? You'd lean down, it would probably roll down. But at least the comments are saving us. How is this for a body in motion when the top is strapless? Nike continues to have no idea what women want. My favorite women, please sew in the bra pads, Nike. This is their response. As someone who can't find a bathing suit bottom that covers my whole butt, this at least is covering up the cheeks. I mean, let's give Nike credit for that. I'm curious who this is for. Who is going to wear this?
Trying to find the one I got. It's a lady that, where the fuck is she? I have so many because I haven't done this in weeks. There it is. This lady's hilarious. She's the
Can we talk
lead of
about
it.
Skims' new Nike collaboration?
Skims. There we go.
Because I have feelings. And I want to be very clear that I am aware I am not the clientele that this is being marketed to. I am not a gym person. I don't wear Skims and I don't wear Nike. Fully aware of that. However, I started pulling screenshots because I was going to do a Designing for Humans because the photo shoot is so weird. Like, this looks like Gleep Glorp took these photos on the spaceship, but the more I looked at this, because honestly, it feels like someone just found pictures of Jamie Lee Curtis in the 80s.
Yeah,
and
totally.
Sort of repackaged
This is ladies
it.
getting mad that women are hitting on Travis Kelce.
was spotted today at the beginning of the first day of Tight End University in Nashville.
When Travis arrives, he immediately went for a tight bear hug with brothers at Gregosine 88, Matt Charney, and Gibran. They really missed each other. They hugged even tighter and later had a group hug, with at Gregosine being hilarious. Travis and his brothers decided to go for a photo shoot at the tight end University board, holding each other at shoulder length with the caption, "The boys are back, baby Yui." Travis Kelce later gave a welcome speech to thank everyone for making it to the 2024 tight end
God,
University,
these people.
which
Wait
is a
for
three-day
best
camp in
insult
Nashville.
ever.
What did you call sister?
No, nothing.
What did you call her?
Nothing.
No. What did you call her?
I call her a buck crocodile.
A butt crocodile.
Everybody always asks me, Mr. Best Mouth, what can you catch in your mouth? And I say, what can't I catch in my mouth?
This guy, like, this is what you went for.
Boy, a grape. Uba.
Yeah.
Boy,
Here's
a
Germans.
marshmallow, all right.
Hell is with Germans.
Where am I?
Hello, welcome to hell.
Hell? I think there's been some kind of big mistake.
That is not possible. We are German. We do not make mistakes. Beeil dich und komm sofort her.
Hello, what is the problem?
That guy is saying we have made a mistake.
That is not possible. We are German. We do not make mistakes.
Can you just check, please? My soul is kind of on the line here.
Fine.
We are not yet digital.
Aha, there it is. July 19th, 2019. You littered.
Oh my God.
That's it? Isn't hell supposed to be for bad people, like murderers?
You mean murderers like you who are killing the planet?
You are also in
This
violation
is why
of
girls are fucked up. Look at this girl. She's drunk at a bachelor party, and she's gonna actually take the dive and kill her face. That's bad. Listen to this freaking toddler, because she wants pasta. The 5 faces: distraught, disappointed, begging, despair, hopeful.
I don't have any pasta. Well, I'm sorry. We can make some later.
Look at that. Hopeful. Little girl, after every work day, this is me after every work day, but this is what she did on our first day. This girl's going to run the
finished
the
your
world.
first day of preschool, right?
And I just
Look at her
came back
face.
from kindergarten.
Did you have fun, Hannah? Yeah? What was the best part? Leaving was the best part.
Oh, I love that little girl. Toddler villain origin story. Listen.
Is she a puppy?
Hi, Doggy. Hi. Hi. I hate people.
I hate people.
Right, yeah, they were kind of rude, weren't they?
This is a girl going outside because I heard
I hate doggies.
Heat's been stroking people. Yeah, you're a nice girl. You don't have to be like that. This is a wolfhound. 8 weeks to think 8 months. Look at that motherfucking gorgeous dog. Oh. 8 weeks. Nine weeks. It's a beautiful dog. Five months. I'm following them. This is Cindy Sweeney out giving food to people. That's 9 months. Look at him. That dude's gorgeous. Cindy Sweeney helping out people giving food at a food pantry. This never gets old. This is the left in a nutshell. And every time I go on TikTok, this is what I think about.
They, them, energy. They, them, energy. They, them, energy. They, them, energy.
Yeah, that's fucking scary. So let's go into our illegal section.
And when we win this race, how are you going?
We're going to keep bringing in immigrants into this country on purpose, just so they can fuck your sister, and then maybe even your daughter. We're going to destroy the white race, bitch. That's what we're here to do.
He sent a guide for us. He sent the truth. That you coming down.
Illegal immigrants killed 13,000 Americans in 2024. The total.
Let's work towards that. Let's work towards a Muslim mayor. Next election that comes in, nominate people for the school board of education. Next election that comes here, nominate people for the local township. Begin the demographics change. People converted. There's a big, huge conversion going on in this country. Where are the converts? They just convert and they're gone in the wilderness. The other thing, children. Muslims have the highest population. Average, they did a Pew Foundation did a research study, Pew Foundation, and they said that Muslim household average is 3.4 child per family. The white American has 1 child per family. We're already beating the march.
So before we start into the vids, let's just go ahead and go. This is a Mississippi judge. Red State, Mississippi just appointed America's first Yemeni Sharia hijabi judge. And it begins. Fact checkers pound on Mike Rogers over America deserved 9/11. He fucking said it. They warn you about the rise of the far right, but the Europol recorded 21 left-wing and anarchist terror attacks and just 1 right-wing attack. They never can do it. They just say it. They just never say it. It's fucking scary. A thread. I've had people reach out after I started speaking more directly about Islam. They tell me my message isn't Christ-like. They say I've become radical. Some of them are friends, some are pastors. Most of them mean well, but they weren't there when it happened. At UC Berkeley, we're doing what we were told, holding signs, preaching to Christ, and refusing to bow to the transgender ideology. One of our signs simply pointed people back to the truth of Scripture. That was enough. An Islamic student didn't like what he saw. I forced my CPO to the ground. Then he stomped on her leg, hard enough to injure her. This wasn't a heated argument that got out of hand. It was deliberate violence over a sign that mentioned Jesus and rejected gender confusion. I'm not even going to play it because it's everywhere. 60% of Gen Z support Hamas over Israel because they don't know anything. How to spot a neo-jihadist. New movements are inherently hard to examine their nascent stages in the thick of the noise, emotion, and charged times. It isn't easy to clear to see the neo-jihadist is not just wearing a kafia and targeting Jews in Israel. It is a Western movement rooted and inspired by jihadist ideology. It is an insurgency, and it's just like Antifa did. They literally fucking got other people to do it. Sam Stein. Oh, this is Hassan Piker. We're going to cover his audio in a second. Hassan Piker got a Rolling Stones article. The guy that says horrible shit about Jews and beat up on his dog got a Rolling Stone article. Why is everyone scared of Hassan Piker? Incendiary clips about Israel have brought flack from both sides of the aisle, but what he wants to say is to make people listen. As Hassan Piker's audience has grown, he's also become a target. The New York Post sent a drone to photograph his house. He says Fox News is somehow whose sole job is to watch him stream. I'm like the new transgender or the war against Christmas. This wouldn't be the first time Rolling Stones romanticized terrorism. Where would that be? Oh, I remember. They did it when they did this shit. Because Rolling Stones is a piece of fucking shit. I'm going to get into it kind of bleeds today because the whole El Sayed, you can't use his name. Subtle stuff for the NRSC, having referred to him as beyond point as Abdul El Sayed at press releases. The committee this morning goes with Abraham Mohammed El Sayed. That's his fucking name, people. 1 month and one apparent prime one apart. You're right. They should have referred to him as Abdul El Sayed, a candidate platform backed by Hamas sympathizer Hassan Piker. That's what they should have said. but they didn't because they're cowed and scared of being called racist. Listen to all these. These are just fucking, once again, another week, more stuff. White 56-year-old husband and father Frederick Linton was working alongside black 23-year-old Devin Rice at West Nashville U-Haul. The two men were reportedly arguing about a soda when Frederick Linton turned and walked away from verbal dispute. Returning to his workstation, a moment later, Devon Rice walked back up behind Linton, pulled out a handgun, emptied it into his back, killing him. Point-blank murder on the job in broad daylight over an argument about a soda that Linton had already walked away from. That look at your young devil angel's face, who could have possibly predicted he's such a sweet boy, would have done such bad things. Look at his face. He's a fucking piece of shit. Piece of fucking shit. Piece of shit. I'm going to play this first. I think it's in the wrong slot. Because I have it in the DSA section, which somehow I got a fly in here. And I don't understand how the fuck I got a fucking fly in the back room. I think the wife left the door open. No, fuck it. Let's just do it the right way. I'm just going to do this. This right here is why I cover this, because there is a direct connection between the Islamists, all right, the Islamists and the left, and the cabal that is this new DSA crap. Look at this picture, and what is the constant? Most of these are Muslims, but all these, and you see how many times they did stuff. 380 arrests, and these guys killed so many people. $33 arrests, 30 arrests, 45 arrests. One had 72 fucking arrests. It is the predicate. They started that so that they can start bringing in anybody. Listen to these sound bites.
The men who preyed on them were predominantly Muslim, generally either from Pakistan or of Pakistani heritage. One of the victims from Dewsbury was told by her rapist, I quote, "We're here to fuck all the white girls and fuck the government."
We're going to keep bringing in immigrants into this country on purpose, just so they can fuck your sister, and then maybe even your daughter. We're going to destroy the white race, bitch. That's what we're here to do.
I think there's always a thing that's believe what they say. This was a student at that Oxford. They never aired this.
You don't have to say that you don't have to say that you think Muslims and Muslims are going to be able to integrate fully, whatever it may be. You simply have to say that you think there might be a problem, you think there might be something you need to address, you think that something should be subjected to scrutiny, to be challenged. And I think that is a very important framing for this debate.
He's against it. Here's another one.
Life for your lives. I'm not motivated by hate, whatever those people outside say. The only person in this debate who has made physical threats was over there. Here. No, thank you. I am motivated by love. Love for freedom, love for life, love for debate, for discussion, love declaring, we are at war and I am a soldier. In 2013, Michael Adebolajo beheaded the young British soldier Lee Rigby in broad daylight on a Woolwich street, and then proudly told police and cameras, his hands dripping in blood, I'm a soldier of Allah. Theo van Gogh, stabbed, shot, nearly decapitated in Amsterdam for criticizing Islam. His killer pinned a note to the body declaring it was done, quotes, by the law that commands me to cut off the head of anyone who insults Allah and his prophet.
Can you give me examples from the scripture directly in context properly that would advise or point to the absence of any of these?
and criticizing it. Are you starting to see the pattern yet? In 2006, Ilan Halimi, a French Jew, was kidnapped, tortured for 24 days and burnt alive by a gang. To Islam opposite cannot deny that those killers were Muslim, following their Islamic beliefs. They said it themselves. The list of Islamic contributions to our Western life demonstrates that human cost. The human cost that makes people in here afraid to even talk about Islam. That's why we're suspicious of Islam.
Yep. Ali Akbar. This is France. Why am I playing this? I'm going to show you in a second why I'm playing this. This right here is a guy who jumped on a subway in Europe, and he thinks this is funny. Understand, he threw his bag. Threw his bag on. And he thought it was funny. This is a man, remember we had a Christian going to the Vatican and got kicked out. This is a man, and they're doing it everywhere. They pray on religious grounds. They pray in front of churches. They hang out. They're playing rugs. They disrespect Christianity because that's what their religion tells them to do. And he is praying in the Vatican. And this is what it's going to look like in 2036 when you fucking go to Dearborn, Michigan. In London, they haven't picked up on it because they still have people like this. Look at this lady. She's scared to death. Look at that. This is a man in Norwich. He was attacked by Somalians. This just happened this week. Yeah, they're peaceful people. Look at all the stitches.
Do you remember the terrorist attack that happened in 2001? I'm not talking about 9/11. On August 9th, 2001, a Hamas suicide bomber walked into Sparrow, a crowded pizzeria in the heart of Jerusalem, and detonated a bomb hidden in a guitar case, packed with nails, bolts, and screws. 15 people were murdered immediately, including 8 children, a pregnant woman, and 2 U.S. citizens. Another 130 people were injured, and one additional victim died in 2023 after 2 decades of being in a coma. The terrorist who scoped out the site and led the suicide bomber to the restaurant was a woman named Aman Tamimi. She was 20 years old, came from a well-off family, and was a journalism student in the West Bank, working with the media, which gave her access to come and go into Israel undetected, which caught the attention of Hamas, who asked her to join Al-Qassam brigades, which she accepted.
All right, and this is her. That's why I prepped it. The woman behind the Sabara massacre, and the truth in her own words exposed the Palestinian resistance. She is smiling. I guess the sound didn't come in some of these. Oh, this is disappointing. I thought the sound would come. She goes on. She's brought on this thing. She's a hero. She is a fucking hero. Across the board hero. They can't do it because this was a TV series that was done in an Arab country because she's a hero. Ahmad Al-Termin is a woman who planned to participate in the Sbarro suicide bombing. Oh, that's why these videos are done. She was a hero to them. She was born in Jordan and moved to the West Bank to study journalism. Her permit allowed her to freely travel. In interviews later on her own TV program, she had never shown remorse. Watch her smile. Listen to her words. This is so-called resistance look like. Tamimi said she was disappointed in the immediate aftermath of the terrorist attack, when she thought only 3 Jews had died. As Tamimi rode a bus back to Ramallah and the death toll continued to rise, Palestinian pastors around her congratulating each other. Hamas recruited Tamimi for the access she had as a journalist. 25 years later, terrorists still exploit press privileges all the time, and they get killed because they go back on the other side. Tamimi would go to Jerusalem and survey different places throughout the day to see how crowded they become. She reported back that Hamas said they could select deadliest target. Tamimi was given 16 life sentences, but released in 2011 Gilad Shalit hostage prisoner exchange. She lived freely in Jordan ever since, financially rewarded every month by the PLO, using a violence and fear against civilian targets to achieve political, religion, or ideological goals, the literal definition of terrorism. That's the people that are better than you and I. We're garbage. We're garbage. This is Spain. Our world has moved on past Spain. We don't talk about Spain anymore. Nobody's covering it. These are the people. They're done. They're done. Because they're still there. They're lying, saying they aren't there. But they are there. Everywhere. 10,000 left. Or left in the country. James Klug got these. Here's a woman getting shit because she's walking with her dog, but she's saying, I don't feel comfortable. My life, neither the police nor the military protect me. Only thing that they're afraid of, she's the only one who protests me because there are no military police on the street. So I need my fucking dog and I'm terrified. Here's another lady.
Nos han invadido. Estamos encerrados
They've invaded us. We're locked in our homes. The supermarkets have been looted, so there is nothing.
No sé cuándo vamos a empezar a tener.
Mira cómo huye la madre con las hijas. Mira cómo huye de Ceuta. Mira cómo huyen las personas. Esto es normal que los españoles tengan que salir así de Ceuta, de su propia ciudad. Es normal.
Where are the cops? This is Canada. What's the difference? Israeli pavilion and multicultural in Edmonton. There's no police. This is a person in Europe. Watch this motherfucker smacks the kid. Smacks the baby.
Mais ça va pas?
And they don't do anything.
Allez-vous-en.
They don't do anything. They smack the baby. They smack the baby.
Mais il est malade.
I would fucking murder that piece of shit. I would murder that piece of shit and go to jail. These are the motherfuckers attacking the cops. These are peaceful motherfuckers. They're the same motherfuckers who ride down the street and throw water balloons at people. And they belong in your country. They're great people. And they think it's funny and they put it online. That's not hate speech. That's okay.
Well, you guys, today we are at an anti-immigration protest here in Ceuta, Spain, where thousands have gathered. It is a massive...
This guy's gonna lose. Any way you cut it, he's gonna fucking lose. This is a Christian preacher in England being arrested for preaching Christianity, and it was hate speech. Yet they pray on the street. They're fucking there praying on the street.
You repent and believe on the Lord Jesus Christ and you'll be saved. You know what? This is an utter disgrace.
That's another one of that lady. This is a combination from Sahar TV.
Video.
Look at this shit. Look at this. They take over with their religion. They can do it because nobody stops them. Nobody stops them.
As you could have seen, this took place in the middle of Canada,
Canada. And then they argue. This is Vancouver.
Of making the word of Allah supreme, so that Islam is dominant. Now let's move on to the martyr. In Arabic, the word we use is ash-shaheed. The martyr is that person who fights so that the word of Allah will be supreme.
Okay, this is a guy in Canada. Here's another one.
Was never spread by the sword. That's a blatant lie. It was spread many times by the sword. The Sharia was spread by the sword. There was a time when this area that we call Turkey, there was no Muslims, there was no Islam, right? And then people came, and in Turkey in particular, it was not a result of merchants coming with da'wah. It was a result of jihad. People became Muslims as a result of the fact that Muslims came with the sword.
Without assimilation is invasion, and that's what we're seeing. There's no assimilation in Canada. There's no assimilation whatsoever. It looks.
And this is what they're doing in Spain. Buckets of pork. They're done. They are fucking done. These are normal people. They just put buckets of pork at their house because these motherfuckers are beating the shit out of them. How performative is it? Well, let's watch this. This man tells his kid to go hit an IDF soldier. Sends his child. Forces her. She doesn't want to. Go hit a IDF soldier. There's a little girl. Here's another one. And they take it. This is what TikTok's
Did
turned
Hollywood
into.
just make the most anti-Islamic
Real
movie
Lily
ever?
J.
Are they really that scared that Islam is taking over? So Ben Shapiro from the Daily Wire just made a movie called Run, Hide, Fight. It's about Muslims taking over a university, forcing Sharia law on America, and
it's happening. Look at her. She's saying doing Netflix on being an influencer for Islam, the greatest religion in the world. But she's not covered. Watch this. This is what she says about Christianity. That Christianity is empty and the water pulls through. You cannot drink. They attack Christianity nonstop. That's why the left loves them. In just this week's Islamist special, here are more peaceful Muslims talking about assimilating in their country. Oh, I'm sorry.
That in Michigan, we need to come together to vote for the right candidate. In Texas, we need to come together to get evil people out of office. In Florida, we need to come together to vote Randy Fine and others out of office. So you had Mr. Abdul on the one side, and you had a career politician on the other. And yet, still, she lost. Truly, this is phenomenal. And this is, inshallah...
This is a debate in Muslim. They start screaming Ali Akbar, so they scare everybody out of the debate. Because everybody knows usually Ali Akbar ends up with a boom boom. Those aren't refugees. Look at that. He's saying it.
Why does the Quran permit having sex with kids?
Because you can.
You can have sex with kids?
Yeah.
That's okay in Islam?
Yeah.
And you live in the United States?
Our passenger Muhammad was he got married to سيدنا محمد قد ايه كان البنت اللي عمره اتجوزها؟
Aisha bint Abi Bakr.
Pastor Nihad Hassan, a former Muslim who converted to Christianity and now leads the Kurdish evangelical church in Beirut, who was recently snatched up by Syrian authorities while visiting family. Local officials claimed his social media posts were inciting strife, but human rights groups, they knew the truth. He was targeted for his faith. Pastor Nihad Hassan, he was held for 2 weeks.
We are in a gold mine. This is a deep water where if we have to launch big ships, Islam, Da'wah of Islam, this is a right place. No restrictions on Da'wah. No restrictions on Da'wah. Even if you go to Saudi Arabia, you cannot do Da'wah. You will be caught. This country, I can stand in the middle of Manhattan and I can call people, nobody can stop it. Trump cannot stop it.
Kill all Christian Jews.
اللهم انصرهم يا رب العالمين.
اللهم عليك بهم فإنهم لا يعجزون.
My last video yesterday just hit over 1 million views in one day. And now I'm getting messages like this. Quote, I live near Hamtramck, Michigan. It feels like you're not in America anymore. Street signs, buildings, all have Arabic writing. The public schools now closed for Ramadan. School meals are halal. They passed a law saying it's okay to slaughter animals in your backyard.
U.S. City. This is an interview. This is how the interview starts.
Genocidal fucking freak! Genocidal fucking freak!
And because these Muslims are so peaceful, this is what happened in the parking lot. They start attacking each other. Here's a guy that's a liberal.
I don't need people telling me, oh, you have to just turn a blind eye to people saying that women getting raped on October 7th didn't matter in the grand scheme of things. No, Americans aren't going to support that. This is not about me. This is about the Democrats, once again, fumbling the football on the
This is Chicago.
I'm here in downtown Chicago, in the exact place where we're doing a Jesus March in 1 hour. Look what's happening. A massive Muslim march is taking place right now, where for the last hour they have been shouting verses of the Quran. They've been declaring over the city there is no God but Allah and his prophet Muhammad. I can't make this up, guys. I am standing in the exact place where we are doing a Jesus March in 1 hour, and look who's here. A massive march, a massive Muslim march, where right now they're singing over Chicago, Muhammad is the only one, may Allah be lifted up. They're declaring that all Jews and all Christians would be removed from this city.
They did it on purpose. But the positive, the Christians said, fuck you, in a religious way, and did their march anyway. And it was more people. Here's the verdict in McKinney because of money in Islamism and leftist.
Why aren't you guys dressed like Americans?
Islamic takeover. I am American. I've been in Texas.
This is not how Americans dress.
It is.
No, it's not. This is a takeover. This is a displacement. You guys are wearing dresses. This is not how men dress. This is not how men dress. You guys
over Islamic encroachment in the U.S. In McKinney, Texas, the city council voted unanimously to approve a new mosque and Islamic center, but many residents there are outraged.
I'm a Sharia law survivor from Iran, and I'm here to tell you this
We played it. It went through. So let's go back to the churches because it's not happening. The Muslims are so peaceful. Their peacefulness is peaceful. That is in Canada. That's a church. How about this one? 174-year-old New York church. He's a Muslim. How about this one? Anti-Christ invaders burn a church again. How about this one? Muslim burn another one in Wales. How about this one? 100 churches in Canada have been burned. And we thought it was Jane's revenge, but it wasn't Jane's revenge. It was the beginning of the Intifada that ISIS said. ISIS told them to do it, and they did it. They went out and burned churches.
This church in Wales was set on fire by 2 Pakistani migrants.
You're not angry yet? These Pakistani...
Another Canadian church. African migrants, 600 Cathedral in Nantes. These are Nigerian Christians waiting to fucking get murdered.
The FDNY announcing this blaze that consumed the South Bushwick Reformed Church is being investigated as arson. We have
a woman now charged with
but it would be hate crime
setting a fire
if
at the shrine
it was
of
a
Our
white
Lady
guy.
of Guadalupe has pleaded guilty. Virginia Roque Furman was captured on surveillance video setting the fire at the shrine in Des Plaines back in 2023. Today, she was sentenced to 4 years in jail. She's been...
Oh, look at that. There's another one. That's New York. Another one.
1844, Philadelphia burned 2 Catholic churches to the ground over a debate about which Bible to read in public school. And most people have never heard of it.
French church. There's a guy smiling.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Brothers and sisters in faith, in Islam, and humanity, I'm coming at you guys live from the new and improved Bronx Muslim Center.
That were paid $1 million for.
This is what's left after a fire this morning at Byron Center Bible Church. Now, parishioners tell me this side of the building that has been torn
North
down.
Carolina, New York. It's really easy. Greenland Church, they burned that down.
The time has come.
Another day, another Catholic church in flames. It's a montage.
We heard the voices calling us out.
14,800 churches have been attacked worldwide since 2020. Is there a significance in that? Oh, yeah, that's when we started letting every fucking Arab in the world go wherever the fuck they wanted. And then if we end on the Daily Wire, which, Muslims did not like them. These guys are Islamists right here. They're pieces of shit.
So this is the latest propaganda coming from Zionist Ben Shapiro's Daily Wire. Starring Jonathan Majors, it says, when radical Islamic terrorists hijack a liberal college's...
Ben Shapiro and actor Jonathan Majors are making a new movie targeting the pro-Palestinian movement in...
Ben Shapiro just made
Hundreds.
an anti-Palestinian propaganda movie.
Terror warning in Northern Virginia.
Anti-Palestinian.
It is Zionist propaganda, red-white propaganda.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Hundreds of these. Hundreds of these.
Somebody bring Jabari here. This nigga got stepped off the reservation, Jabari. Where's Jabari at? You know what you do, man? Go back in that closet and go get that shirt. You still got that shirt, right?
Listen. Nobody should support this film.
Oh, man, we got to support our brother Jonathan Majors.
No, we do.
I'm going to do it.
Designs openly on the West.
The FBI thwarted a terror plot on New Year's Eve.
Bro, first of all, the whole clip has been B-roll. Look at the people. Just look at the people.
Oh, he's assimilated well. This is Sneeko.
All right, no one's watching this slot movie. Your movies suck. Citizen Vigilante sucked. People don't fall for this propaganda anymore.
We don't have to fall for propaganda because it's not propaganda. It's actually a documentary that has been thwarted for just a second because Hong didn't win. But El Sayed, a brother for Islamism, well, he's still out there. Too socialist. Okay, before we go into our very little coverage on it, this is the Star Tribune. Klobuchar wins primary, becoming the first woman to lead major ticket for Minnesota government. The Minnesota Star celebrates Jim McCullough, blah, blah. The only problem is that Lisa DeMuth is leading the Republican ticket. She's a woman and black. They don't mention that. She beat Lindell, but we're not going to mention mention that. We don't mention that. So then we get in the wild finish. Late ballots are surging for socialist Francesca Hong in Wisconsin, flipping the race back to pure toss-up at just 0.02 margin. Latest batch was a massive boost for Hong. Plenty of ballots still out there. Nail-biter win for Hong would be a nightmare scenario for Democrats. Next one. With 90% of the vote, Democratic U.S. Senate primary establishment David Crowley leads socialist Francesca Hong. This race is still razor thin. Break-in. David Crowley barely defeats Democrat socialist Francesca Hong. Wisconsin gubernatorial primary by a little more than 3,000 votes. A narrow victory ends Hong's bid and sets up Crowley as the Democratic nominee. Significant upset against the progressive frontrunner, but it shows that socialism is taking over the Democratic Party. But then we get to the money shot. NBC ended its live coverage of the Wisconsin Democratic primary as Milwaukee County officials announced a tabulation error. 5 of the 9 USB sticks with the absentee ballot results contained only audit logs rather than the actual vote totals. Officials say it was a human error. This mistake postponed the final vote tally, which miraculously led to Brandon Crowley's win. that just by accident, he just barely won. Doesn't that sound familiar? We had all those problems in 2020 so we could work out Biden's win. The most awkward 3.5 minutes of live air in NBC News history. So I'm going to start with what they did initially here.
In America, high-stakes primaries in 6 states, and all eyes on whether Democratic Socialist candidates can keep their winning streak going. Here's Ryan Nobles.
Tonight, the deep Democratic divide between socialists and the party's establishment moving to Wisconsin. Progressives hoping to notch another major win, led by Democratic Socialist candidate for governor Francesca Hong, who's leading in the polls.
We're going to respond and make sure that we talk about the solutions and how we can deliver for working class people.
Moderates turning to David Crowley, backed by the Democratic
Let's
governor.
listen to
We're
the
going to need someone who can build the necessary coalition.
Kornacki.
Yeah. Here's the thing.
Listen, this is the most awkward shit I've ever seen, ever.
Yeah. Let's look at it this way. We're kind of indefinitely waiting for them to get their act together here and get the sticks and bring them back and go on. And we've got folks here who are working real late. And I don't think we want to, keep them here to, this could go 90 minutes. And it's 90 minutes of me saying, have you heard of any other athlete?
Well, because they don't want to air this. This was out there.
There are two things. There's the audit log and the results. What we uncovered was that 5 of the sticks had the audit log downloaded and not the results. It's a human error. These things can happen. So basically what we need to do is go back to the operations center and we're going to download out of those 5 machines the results and make sure that it's not the audit log.
We're hooking up another election. That's what they're saying. But this is DSA. DSA 2025, National Convention, Democratic Socialists, Resolution 22 for a fighting anti-Zionist DSA. I'm not going to read anymore. That just says everything. The dark money harasses own Montana nominee family to force her out of the race. I've obtained leaked documents from a dark money group showing how Democrats have organized harassing campaigns targeting Montana Democrat nominee Alini Bankhead family to get her out of the race. Democrats want to push Bankhead out of the race to favor the independent candidate Seth Boyer, who is backed by Chuck Schumer and former Senator John Tester. These documents offer inside look at how Democratic dark money efforts works. Project Montana Senate dropout. 4 days left to win the Montana. This is literal pictures of what they do to their own people. So what are they doing to regular people? What are they doing to conservatives? They talk in depth over here about how to get rid of a motherfucker. Easy, because the guy's black. Racist, the word that conquered the West. Few accusations can end conversation quickly. Being called racist can cost someone employment, reputation, friendship, political legitimacy, access to public health. Westerners are taught to regard themselves as rational, universal, tolerant, impartial, morally enlightened. The Westerners see themselves as a moral and rational creature. Across public life, minority groups are encouraged to celebrate ethnic pride, collective memory, representation, community interest, cultural continuity, but similar attachment among a historic European majority is treated as threatening. And this goes on to show how they have used that for so long that you get these pieces of fucking shit. And there's nothing you can do. The drunk Republican. If you're worried about Gen Z vote, don't treat them with kid gloves. They're old enough to know how they're getting played. Republicans didn't pump up full of psych drugs and try to convince you you're in the wrong body. Democrats did. Republicans didn't shut down their state for months during COVID. Republicans didn't put $150K into debt for a worthless college degree. Republicans didn't let in millions of illegals over 4 years causing housing skyrockets. Democrats aren't trying to bring down prices via deregulation of deportation. Democrats didn't make it easier to start a family by permanently expanding the child tax credit. Democrats aren't making your community safer. They're demonstratively true statements that will do far more to win over young people than promising the moon, and I don't believe any of that. This is a video from the DSA. It's all over the fucking place. There are so many ways in which illegals can involve behind the scenes. You don't have to have paper
I just
to
want
have
to say
power.
that as an immigrant who was not born in this country, as a formerly undocumented immigrant, as someone who just got her citizenship in 2016, I did not openly identify myself as a socialist. For a while, I was a closeted socialist. Partly because, I grew up, when we moved to this country, my parents moved to Florida, and that was a very different political context in which to call yourself a socialista, right? And so I understand.
AOC came that way.
Democratic Socialists of America?
Of the New York City chapter.
The New York City chapter, not the national.
No.
And what's the difference?
So every DSA chapter is formed locally.
Yeah.
And so the New York City DSA chapter, those are folks that you know. It's kind of like your local union chapter.
Yeah.
And yeah.
So, because
I mean, she is now compared to the real core DSA wing, like the far left stuff, like the Daria Liza. AOC is like a moderate Dem on a comparative basis.
A moderate Dem.
Here, we don't know. Hopefully not. That's right. I was there, and they're not going to be happy about me publishing this video at all. Too bad. Have you heard of the People's Forum? It is the radical left-wing organization fueling the rise of the DSA in American politics. Well, I snuck into one of their meetings at their New York City headquarters last week. All right, guys, we're walking up to the People's Forum office right now. Wish us luck. We made sure our spy pens were...
This country as a formerly undocumented
He's the one that got the video. Pretty good. There's plenty of them. Here's this asshole.
U.S. imperialism is not a thing that can be reformed away. It has to be overthrown
Trans and
through
DSA.
revolutionary struggle.
Same.
And to build a mass movement that can use the leverage of workers to hit the kill switch on American imperialism here within the American
switch.
empire.
Our role ultimately is to facilitate our own empire's failure in ways that we can. Ultimately
This is actually something that we committed to at convention, having our endorsed candidates supporting the program. It's a requirement now, and so that'll be incorporated into our endorsement process.
It sounds so radical, like abolish the Senate, abolish the Supreme Court, like et cetera, but it's not. Like those are the things that need to happen.
So democratic centralism is one of those kind of like scary words people hear and they're like, oh, like Stalin, and you're like, okay, all right. It actually means something, and it has this greater historical context, and it just means. Can you unpack it? Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, it means we make a decision democratically, and then we do the thing. Like that's all it means. It just means like we decided all
That's their
We don't
spokesman.
have to project 1 minute into our future to see that the climate crisis is already here. On this note, I speak to you not as an elected official
Hong.
or public figure, but I speak to you as a human being, a woman whose dreams of motherhood now taste bittersweet because of what.
You're a piece of shit. And you're a lying ass that scared the shit out of people, and we've almost made 8 years, and you're still buying property on the beach. Shut up. But they get to have Piker, and I'm going to play but this all came out this week. These are all summer retreads, but here's their boy.
His top aide, Sia Weaver, said if you don't believe in the government's sacred right to seize property, it's over. And impoverish the white middle class.
Beast mode. I love her so much.
Decade of socialism. It's coming to a neighborhood near you. When I said we were going to let 1,000 Zorons bloom, this is what I meant. We got Claire Valdez and numerous other wonderful DSA candidates.
Why is everyone scared of Hassan Piker? Rolling Stone magazine. Technically, we made it onto the cover. Zoran Mamdani's on the cover as well. But not a good photo, sorry. I think it's a great...
America deserved 9/11, dude. I'm saying it. Kill those motherfuckers and murder those motherfuckers in the street. Let the streets soak in their fucking red capitalist bloods, dude.
Kill that. I don't have any sort of patriotism in my heart.
This is the best montage anybody's ever made.
Doesn't matter if rapes happen on October 7. Like, that doesn't change the dynamic for me even this much.
You said America deserved 9/11. Did you mean that?
Yeah.
That's the guy.
I don't give a fuck what black people care about. Oh, black people care about this, black people care about that. Like, shut the fuck up. That's not how politics works. Oh, well, Hassan, how dare you? Like it or not, black people care about this issue. It's like, it's such a fucking stupid stance. Any other black folk want to engage in rap? No, I didn't say Americans deserve 9/11. I said America deserves 9/11.
Right, but that's
and
still
in that
wrong.
Moment, well, maybe you can chalk it up to English being my second language or whatever you want to chalk it up to. In the building, running for Senate in Michigan. Shut the fuck up, you stupid fucking idiotic old lady. Yo, fuck this refugee.
I'm not here to disavow people's views.
Mao Zedong is one of the great leaders of this world.
Woo! Mao Zedong.
The allies are launching is already more bitter. All you got to do is look at the odds. You're already watching on TV, started today. You know, they think that you want to use my whole name against me. Mike, listen, man, if you can't say the name, it's Abdurrahman, keep the name out your damn mouth.
Okay?
You don't
can't
get that,
be out
buddy.
here doing that. You can't be out here saying like, oh, I'm a centrist Democrat and I think Abdul is a bridge too far. That must be punished. Okay? If there's one Marxist-Leninist doctrine that...
But because there is a historical analysis instead of a political one, you are missing the opportunity to build a coalition. And so what do? I think you try to avoid the faculty lounge, which is what that sounds like. It sounds like an opportunity to have a conversation.
See how they try to make it?
He's always been a racist, a bigot, a xenophobic, and Islamophobic. We know that he called African nations a shithole in his first administration. We know that when he came down that escalator, he said he would...
Number one, she's a trailblazer. I don't even tell you all that. You all have been seeing her work.
It's a cabal.
When you talk about courage, when you talk about all the wars that we fight abroad, all of the sordid history of oppressing other people in the name of this American idea, right? Whether it was, quote, Manifest Destiny and destroying Native Americans, or it was the transatlantic slave trade where, you know, folks who...
Welcome back. President Trump just making some comments from the Oval Office as more states get ready for key primaries tomorrow. Here's what President Trump said.
We have jihadists being elected all over the place. We have this, whether it's communism, jihadism. It's a friend of mine called up. He said, you know, really, you should use the word jihadist because that's what's happening.
It is jihadist.
That America deserved 9/11. El Sayed himself has said Israel.
He's just about that.
He's had him in surrogate.
Right,
he said
but hold on.
he is.
Chat.
Whoa, no.
You get to own it. The right gets to.
It's the first version.
It's the first. Wait.
Yeah. Really?
Poor people that they can afford housing in Berkeley. I don't know how that works.
Well, my understanding is that the property owners who have properties there choose just not to rent it at all.
Yeah, kill them.
result.
Kill those motherfuckers. Prominent Democrats will privately come to me and say, we would really like your help here. We would really like your help there.
There it is. They're all full of shit. And he's speaking complete ass Arab because he's a fucking piece of shit.
Remember 9/11. Shut up. Go back to Auschwitz. Remember 9/11.
Go back to Auschwitz.
Is that Abdul Saeed El Sayed is making it easier. Why? Because he is inconsistent with Michiganders of either side of the aisle, by the way.
CNN loses it because he's going to call him his name. And it has begun. He is getting the Barack Osama bleeding.
He's just wrong for Michigan.
And I saw your early attack ads against him. You're using his full name in these attack ads, which has gotten some attention. Abdul Rahman Mohammed El Sayed. He goes by Abdul El Sayed. Are you trying to say, hint, hint to voters, he's Muslim?
Not at all. What we're saying
It's his fucking name. His whole existence is Muslim. He starts with praise be to Allah, motherfuckers. You get to own that shit while fucking women are getting raped
There's
worldwide.
Hassan Piker, you know. His Turkish parents were very, very wealthy, millionaires. And then he grows up in Turkey and he comes back here. He says at 9/11 we deserved it.
Here are
Boy,
women
y'all,
covering his
this
fluff
is gonna be
piece.
a good one. A long one, but a good one. Oh, you should see the fluff piece that Rolling Stone magazine just did on Hassan Piker. Yes, that same Hassan Piker that said that America deserved 9/11, and he has zero patriotism whatsoever. Look at this mess. Why is everyone so afraid of Hassan Piker? Why is everyone scared of Hassan Piker? Look at who else they featured. The Boston Marathon bomber. But that's not all. My good friend Zero Hour dug up this one. This is one Rolling Stone praised.
Yeah.
I also want to remind everyone watching that the New York Times and Rolling Stone both wrote very, very favorable articles towards Hassan.
Yep, they all did, because they think he's a fucking good dude. He's a fucking good dude. And if you don't think he's a good dude, it's because you're a fucking racist. So as we have that, we have Woke 2.0, and that's where we're going now. Ben Shapiro started it, and it's true. They're trying to distance themselves from who they are with all the bullshit and the wokeness and all the crazy stuff that they said for fucking ever. And guess what? You don't get to do it. These are Dems signing in a full-term birth abortion. And they clap. They clap. They'll never get away that they love killing babies. These people love
Football is very much associated with a particularly masculine and oftentimes toxically masculine culture.
Football.
This is the era of FU politics and dark woke.
What is dark woke?
Okay. Dark woke is a reaction to, you have the purest woke people who are policing what everybody say, up in everybody's business, which is similar a bit to conservatives being up in everybody's business.
There are people like Francesca Hong who adapted to a lot of that rhetoric and fully believe it, and she's leading a campaign with that as her values.
And she lost.
The abolished prisons, abolished police, which is also positions that have been taken by a lot of the progressive candidates who have won.
Listen to what this
how do you
cunt
get around
says.
that? I mean, those are not positions that are supported by
Right.
most of
I mean, I think that a lot of these races, even right now, they'll have a tendency to be nationalized.
Yeah.
But these races ultimately are local, and all politics are local. My understanding is that Francesca Hong has made clear her present stances to her electorate.
Yeah, she's moved away from a lot
right,
of that.
she's moved away from it. And I have a local city councilman that has this saying, woke one was crazy.
Woke one was crazy.
So here's Ben. It's 3 minutes. I got to go to the bathroom. Got to take a squeeze, so I'm going to play this. This is 2.0, and this is where they're
Woke
at.
1.0 forced Americans to say, am I racist or am I not? That was the question you were supposed to ask, right? That was the Matt Walsh question, am I racist? Woke 2.0 is American capitalism inherently corrupting and bad? Right? Is America's free market system, is the West's system of freedoms and free markets inherently imperialistic, colonialist, genocidal, and racist? Right? But that comes from its free market, private property rights system. This is why the key issue of Woke 1.0 was George Floyd or Ferguson, Missouri. And the key issue for Woke 2.0 is Gaza. Right? This is why you're sitting around going, like, why the hell are we talking about the Gaza Strip? It's a tiny strip of land that's very far away, like 8,000 miles away. Why? Well, the answer is because Woke 2.0 is about the idea that everything bad that happens on planet Earth must be the result of terrible Westernism. Westernism is responsible for genocide, right? That's the false word they use about Gaza. So you have to ignore all the context, all the history, all the reality, but you can get there. So Abdul El-Sayed, because, again, the left decided to support Ukraine against Russia because they decided that Russia was pro-Trump for whatever dumb reason. Abdul El-Sayed, the Democratic Senate candidate in Michigan, he was asked on Meet the Press why he supports funding for Ukraine but not Israel. And he ignores the obvious answer, which is that he hates Jews, but here he was trying to explain the difference, and the difference is not the difference.
You're saying you would not support sending aid to Israel, which was attacked by Hamas, but you have also said that you would support sending military aid to Ukraine, which was, of course, attacked and invaded by Russia. Where do you draw the line there?
Well,
In Ukraine, you're talking about attacks from a leader of a neighboring sovereign country who clearly violated international law in attempting to breach the sovereignty of the Ukrainian public. That is conditional on that circumstance. We have been offering unconditional foreign military aid to Israel, independent of the circumstances, for years and years and years. And might I say, it's not just Israel, it's also Egypt, it's also Jordan, it's also Saudi Arabia. That's the difference. It's about the conditions. So when we're talking about taking on Putin.
So he could not answer that question because he'd have to admit, because they're terrorists. Oh, I get it. It's because they're terrorists. It's not a country. Huh. So part of the woke 2.0, I believe, going off of what he says, is the fact that trans is part of that. Because if you gild everybody and they don't procreate, well, then Islam wins.
Colleagues, this amendment would reallocate $300,000 in one-time funding to the Human Services Department to grant funding to community-based organizations supporting LGBTQIA individuals with essential needs, including, most namely, support with emergency shelter, housing.
To thank the council for taking the
So we're
very
giving
first
money to
step in
trannies.
funding trans refugees fleeing.
Trans
What I want to speak
refugees.
to is the cis queer people, especially within the mayor's office, that are undermining trans refugees, and they think they can just because they're queer. Cis queer people who are doing this, have you ever had your license overwritten overnight, making driving a felony because of your transgender status? Have you ever taking the bathroom become a felony because of your transgender status? Are there lists that have your name on it because you are transgender? Have you cared for transgender refugees? Have you housed transgender refugees, or have you talked them down from suicide? So if you haven't done any of that, how do you know? There is no level of acceptable suffering and death when we are in the middle of a genocide. Please call for the mayor's office to...
What the fuck is a transgender refugee? Oh, because they can't get free someplace, so they're coming to Denver where they get it for free. Huh. This isn't a refugee. This person is in Ventura, California. This is child abuse. Okay. That's child abuse. That's child abuse. That is child abuse. You cannot convince me it's not child abuse. It's child abuse. This is woke 2.0. A black man who's gay talking about abortion.
It's crazy. I'm actually doing WGSS as my major, so it's like...
What does that mean? What's W?
Women's Gender and Sexuality Studies. So,
here's a
We are
congressperson.
facing a cultural regression in this moment, not just substantively, but in public opinion. Support for marriage is less today than it was 3 or 4 years ago.
Support for marriage across the board, you fucking cock. You're a cock because you have a cock. You did it. You made everybody weird. They don't know if they're boys or girls, or they suck dick or eat clam. They don't have a fucking clue. They just want to be cool because the world's confusing. They got to be digital. They got to be normal. They don't look like anybody. They don't look like Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. They don't look good. So now they don't know what the fuck to do. They just want to be cool. Everybody wants to be algorithmic. They want to get fucking woke. They want to do this. They want to do that. You guys change woke so much, nobody knows what's going on. So nobody supports regular marriage, let alone whatever the fuck you are, dude with the dick. Commit to the bit. Chop the cock. I'll call you ma'am. I'm still biology. It's not transphobia. It's not racist. It's not sexist. It's biology, bitch. None of you go to the full bit. You're just playing to get the rights. If I was a gay person, I would go, no. We're going to go back to LG. BT, go fuck yourself. And all you AEIO and the MMQB, OPCD. Why do we need an organization for dead women? Lesbian or gay, they've committed to the bit. I'm a girl and I like vag. I'm a guy and I like sucking cock. Totally cool. You do you, bro. You do fucking you. I don't give a fuck. But they committed. You're not committing. There's so many of these idiots like this dickhead who's now a lesbian fucking a woman. You're straight, dick. You just got tits and you wear a dress. It used to be called cross-dressing. And there was nothing wrong with that either. All this shit about we ain't going to stay in the closet and people beat us and murdered us. Oh, Shepard, yeah, it was a drug deal. Shut the fuck up. Nobody's killing trans. Nobody gives a fuck because most of us can't tell the difference anymore. Girls look dressed like boys. Boys dressed like girls. They're non-binary, so it's confusing as fuck. So I call everybody dude just because I'm a nice human. But I don't give a fuck what you do. Be a fucking elf. Fuck a panda bear. I don't give a fuck. Just leave me alone and stop saying you deserve free money.
To your point, support on individual issues facing the trans community, on individual policies around trans rights.
Oh, there's so much trans rights.
A
What
fascist
right?
fantasy. I'm Lucy, and I'm
You want free
campaigning
shit.
for every trans person in the UK to be given a poo bucket funded by the UK government, which will be dumped weekly on the EHRC offices. The equality.
These liberal lesbians actually are on our way to drop that daughter off at Sleepaway Camp, at Camp Highlight, which is a camp for children of LGBTQ parents or...
Child
Hey,
support.
this is Break the
Child-
Chains Media.
child-
You're a
child
bunch of
abuse.
fucking white power pieces of shit, and fuck you! Promote anti-trans gets me fucking killed.
Your behavior
But
gets you
white
killed.
Nobody's
supremacists-
killing you. Nobody's killing anybody. This is a liberal going to the Dyke March. Even there, it's free Palestine.
We are not at the beginning of fascism. We are in the middle.
Okay. This fascism thing is really interesting to me because every time I watch one of these goddamn videos where they're talking about fucking fascism, they're yelling on a bullhorn in public spaces and being allowed to. So you need to go back and learn what the fuck a fascist is because a fascist doesn't allow you to do this. This piece of shit is Vivian Smitherton, a man pretending to be a woman and failed Democratic candidate who allegedly housed a minor in his home without his parent consent, compares removing porn books from schools to the Holocaust. Why is it always the people screaming about pedophilia are the pedophiles?
The books have
Why are
already
the
been
people saying
banned.
fascists?
The teachers have
fascists.
already been fired. The laws are already rewritten. The fear is already normalized. This is not leadership, this is punishment. It is not chaos, it's learning theory. This is behavioral conditioning, deliberate and strategic. Make
everything you
resistance
guys
painful.
do is
For the
strategically.
game, we were doing all the usual things. We were in the locker room getting dressed, doing our hair, and getting prepared for the match, just like any other day. And then it wasn't until after the match that we find out. We were in the locker room with a player who is biologically male, and nobody told us. No one gave us a choice. I didn't get to decide whether I was comfortable with it. It was simply decided for me. I remember feeling like something personal was taken away from me, and I never had the chance to get it.
I want to say it, and I want to say it loud and proud. Why is everything going on in Woke 2.0 fucking little girls over? Why? Why? You fucking people. You treat girls like shit. If it isn't the trans shit, it's the rape shit. Man, this is what 2.0 has brought us. Savannah Man with 22 arrests, all right? 22 arrests for allegedly attempted rape just 17 days after jail released. This is this beautiful human that this justice got him. He killed this lady. 14 more arrests before 2026. And he had August 7th, July 20th, June 20th, June 4th, April 30th, April 21st, April 5th, April 27th. Attacking a woman. Simple battery, public indecency, criminal trespass. How about this lady? Christian Phillips, a mother and DoorDash driver in North Carolina, was nearly beaten to death as she honked at a man for stopping the green light. They haven't released the information because he's an illegal. That's why. Or he's black. That's always what it is. And my thesis statement on what Woke 2.0 has brought to you by the Democrats and socialists and Islamists and all the good people that are better than you because they're important and you're a piece of shit, is this. This girl, all right, let me pull up the thing. Zara Beth. I'm going to push and stop, and I'm going to bring it up. The UK woman exposed for using a wheelchair, despite being able to walk and do gymnastics, also claims to have numerous other conditions, including Tourette syndrome, autism, full body paralysis, which seems to come and go on a whim. So this lady, let me see if I can find the fucking video. There's hundreds of video on her doing stuff, and I'll get the most important one because I don't think they have it in here. She made half the world do stuff. Okay. Because she couldn't get upstairs on the tram. I mean, and this is all performative. She is the perfect example of what we've done to our children to make them think the only way you get in head is to be part of some fucking crazy goddamn group. And if you're not part of that fucking group, then you're a piece of shit. You got major problems, man. I can't get ahead in life. Zara Beth wheelchair. I thought I had it, but I don't have it. Zara Beth wheelchair. Zara Beth train station? Oh, they scrubbed it. Give me the fucking video. Ah, fuck. I'll find it. Let's listen to this piece of fucking garbage right here.
Fuck. Titties. Fuck off. Fuck off. Wow. Faggots don't deserve ice cream. Fuck. I don't like you. Have a cupcake. Titties. Oh, why are my ticks so bad, man? Fuck. Fuck. Living with titties. Living with Tourette's. Yeah. Fuck. Fuck. Penis. Fuck. Oh. Fuck.
I can't find the video. They had to get a stair lifter and everything. And then finally she said, because I'm doing so good today, she walked up the fucking stairs. This is her trying to do a COVID test.
I'm gonna karate chop it out of your hand. Oh shit.
Right, do you want to just close your eyes? Sorry. Do you want to just close your eyes?
The lift's down.
Oh god,
Here's what happens if you're a wheelchair.
Oh no! What a conundrum. It's a bloody conundrum.
The lift's down. Rip. Here's
Close
what
your
happens.
eyes.
Here's the video.
The lift's down. Rip. Here's what happens if you're a wheelchair user and the lift breaks at the train station. This was Manchester Piccadilly, and when I arrived, the lift was broken and I had my chair and attachment. I spoke to the staff and they brought down a stair lift. I don't know if it works. The first option was the built-in stair lift, but this actually didn't work. They figured out that it was broken, so that was 2 options completely down. The second option was a small portable stair lift, which didn't look as sturdy, and I was quite scared of it, not gonna lie. But they brought it down anyway, and when we got to the bottom, we realized that my chair wouldn't fit onto it. I have quite a long wheelbase with my
Here we go, cutting to the chase. And you ready?
How it would have been fixed if I couldn't walk up the stairs. Travel is really unpredictable. Just gotten off a flight too, so I couldn't even detach my attachment because it was physically taped together and we didn't have scissors. So in the end, because I'm ambulatory and I did have a bit of energy on this day, I offered to walk up the stairs while they carried up my setup. The staff were really helpful in this case, but
that's woke 2.0. All she has to do is scream Ali Akbar, and she fulfills everything the left wants in a person. She's probably non-binary. I didn't check her he, her pronouns. That's the left. That's what they want now. Everybody's a victim. Everybody's part of a protected class. And white people are the most to blame for it because they made this shit up. You made it up. It isn't black people up there screaming and yelling about shit anymore. It's usually a white woman with blue hair and 45 nose piercings. She's the one talking. And it's fucking fatiguing. Everybody talks about black fatigue. I have woke fatigue because woke is allowing women to have men with dicks in their goddamn fucking locker room and get raped. And you excuse it as they don't know the language. It wasn't a long rape. It's part of the culture. I don't want to hurt his immigration status. And we just let motherfuckers get away with rape and throw girls in jail because they said it was a black guy. Oh, that's hate speech. You can't fucking say black guy. What the fuck is wrong with you? Goddamn racist. That's the world in 2016. And 2026. In 2018, we were literally saying, me too. That's some crazy shit, bros. So that wraps up another episode of Flyover Politics Podcast. Share with their friends. Go to Flyover Politics with K, SoundCloud, YouTube, email, next show. 16 August, year of our Lord, 2026. Until then, disconnect from all your devices. Don't give the yes. And as always, thanks for listening.